Yeah. Not so much that we read them as if we give the public an opportunity to ask questions.
That's what I meant.
Okay. You good? All right. If we get these in the right position, like foot away or less, we should be all right. Okay, we call the meeting to order.
10:06.
Okay, let's start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a roll call, please. Clerk Hearn.
Certainly.
Yeah, don't get too close.
So that's seem decent.
Well, I can hear it.
Okay. What's the room next to it?
Well, I mean, I hear it bounce.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Supervisor.
Here.
Treasurer Hunt.
Here.
Trustee Deckman.
Here.
Clerk Fern. Here. Trustee Linay. Excused.
Okay, and the first thing would be to approve the agenda and modifications. There's two modifications. First one would be to approve the resolution 2025-013 that has to do with some banking issues. We're going to put that first. Second one is to number 1, add 1A, which is concerns running a tractor into compost site. So with those two additions, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda as modified?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? End of discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay, we'll start with board reports. I'm gonna go first as the supervisor. Been a very busy month. Board didn't second my motion at last month's board meeting that daily activity and costs be forwarded to myself or the receptionist to make sure all board members are involved in decisions. And decisions be made at the public board meetings, special meetings or otherwise. Called 2 special meetings and hope for a quorum of those board members who work daily. Trustees both work other jobs. No other board members showed up, so no meetings were held. In addition, the board passed a motion that board meetings have no initial discussion on motions, just the motions, protocol, and then votes. All discussions should now take place at the work sessions. Also, the meeting times cannot exceed 1 hour, excluding public comment. This will be the first meeting under those new guidelines. The only other addition I have is that the GLUA settlement of the GLUA remaining donor money was done. It will go back in an equal percentage to all of the people who donated money, not to Higgins Lake Foundation and Higgins Lake Property Owners Association exclusively. That's all I have. Next would be Parks and Rec, which would be Leanne. Anybody have any questions for me about the supervisor's report? Okay. Thank you for coming here.
How close do I get to this?
Say a foot or less, somewhere.
Like this?
Sure, I can hear it.
Can everyone hear me?
Bouncing.
Okay, thank you. I'm Leanne Wisnowski. I'm the chair for Parks and Rec. This is our first update. And we'll start from the very beginning. And I'll make it as quick as I can. The first thing that happened this season was we successfully roped off the concert area for safety of spectators during the concerts, which I think has been awesome. They Maintenance department removed a falling tree in the walking trails at Park 27. The hammock stands were approved for Samoset Park, so we're working on getting those together. Letter, excuse me, a letter of intent was submitted for a $250,000 grant for park improvements. The current plan is in works for the softball field reconditioning for a tournament, for us hosting a tournament in September. We're anticipating improved safety for all parks with the removal of the dead branches and tree health assessment. Acknowledgement of refreshing the playground mulch at Park 27 in Phoenix. We're working on that. The toy library is currently being constructed for Samoset Park. Waterfront Park by a volunteer. The new stand at Samoset is being enjoyed by all, but we are currently discussing universal inclusion ideas with ADA experts to move that forward so that we can make it more wheelchair accessible. Our biggest news is that we expanded the quality of the 2 tennis courts to include 4 pickleball courts. We had the ribbon cutting yesterday. The Houghton Lake Resorter was on that site. Thank you, Cheryl. And we're looking forward to a great story on that. And I think it's going to be a huge success. We have all 4 courts were in use yesterday. And that's over 16 players with people on the sidelines waiting. So, any questions for me?
Thank you.
I'm saying, but I was gonna bring it up in public comment.
Oh, okay. We are currently working with an ADA specialist.
Okay, because it is a violation of ADA. They have sand in
A
it.
question, yes, not a discussion, right? If you have one, fire away.
Okay. The $250,000 grant, is that through?
It's the Consumers Energy Grant. They give 2 a year in Michigan. So we have just submitted the letter of intent. On September 10th, we will know if we're in the top 10. And I'll update. September. We're working with Amanda Wachinski, and she's a grant writer. She is working with us as a consultant, and she's excellent. She's done a lot of the Roscommon, like she got the grant for the mural. She's done a lot, the grant for the community garden. So we're hoping that her skills will be benefit. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, nice to be yeah, thank you very much. Saxon. Is he present? Yes, ma'am.
But we had, 4 burials this month. Cremations, and we also sold, 4 plots. And, I just want to say, since we put that dirt down on the road with the few rocks that we had with the existing stuff that we had at the cemetery, the road looks a lot better. So we'll see on the next rain if it runs off, but it still needs to be,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm not asking for anything to put down. It needs to be graded. It absolutely needs to be graded.
Everybody's kind of aware. We'll see what happens with this next rain.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Any questions for the next? I have one additional comment. This is the 3rd time I've heard this. This is from Bonnie Grant in reference to Bruce, our sexton. What a wonderful man, went beyond the call of duty. Very, very pleased. I hear this a lot. Bruce is doing a really good job.
I should ask, I was gonna wait till my report, but Bruce has 16 calls in the last 2 weeks about his performance over there. Every one of them positive. And so I'd like to thank him myself. Yeah.
Okay, next is fire department. JC could not be here. I'm gonna read it real briefly. One of the 3 new firefighters quit, so we're down to 2 newbies. The new truck needs to go in for some repairs on foam system. Had a Zoom meeting with the new fire and EMS program representative. The state is making changes and we need to look into this new system. I talked to them about this. This is the low. So it's taken all this time up trying to get everything ready. We need to make a decision on which system we'll use and implement it before September 3rd. So that's their focus right now. National Night Out was a success. Kids had a great time. They have a lunch benefit at Aruco on Thursday. Somebody enlightened me as to what Aruco.
That plant on form.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know it's not familiar. Have a lunch benefit okay, that's up on Foreman. And we are at 84 runs to date. If you have any questions for him, you can email them to me at the supervisor email and I'll forward. Okay. Next is maintenance. Again, he's not here. Have some handle.
Was that 84 runs year to date?
We are at 84 runs to date. That must be year to date, I would guess. Yeah, you want to send me something, I'll double check, but. Maintenance department have some vandalism at Park 27, motorcycle tearing up the park area and roadway. Somebody pulled out 3 of the 4 horseshoe pit stakes and busted up one, I think near the backstop. Anyway, somebody was out there doing some demon work. Got a lot of painting done, just a few more items still to paint, like the pavilions at all 3 parks. Got with the contractor that will be putting the new path on the walking trail and we'll be doing that this fall. That's a path we approved. Again, if you have questions for him, email them to me and I will get them to him. Next treasury report.
I'm gonna go fast here. The deal with the 750 tax collection for the summer taxes, which is pretty good. I'm gonna take it upon myself to meet with the fire department once a month, and one of you guys want to join me, but we need to get some cohesion with them going, so like, if you want to do it with me, we'll pick a date at the end of the month and meet with those guys to go over any outstanding issues they have. Any their need. We have found, for the recycling, the low price of $10 a resident a year that would be added on your winter taxes for curbside recycling. Getting rid of the bins at the park, which have been just nothing but a hassle. But what I want to do is I want to get a feel for the residents. So I'm going to work with the IT people. I would like to put up maybe a questionnaire on a website on our Facebook page and get feedback from everybody if that's just something they want for $10 a year. My opinion, I think it's a no-brainer. They come to your house, you get a full bin. I think it's a different color, so recycling on it, and instead of having to drive it up there, hopefully it's not full. So right at your curbside, every other week they come and empty up along with the trash. So I want to see what everybody thinks on it. And also we're looking at starting the electronics. We're getting a lot of questions about electronic and metal recycling. For electronics, it's basically your cell phones, computers, anything to do stereos, and we can actually sell it to the company who buys it, the township. They'll have a drop point. I'm not sure where, we'll have to figure that one out, but I want to get this going there in the next month or two, as well as the metal recycling program. So people have bridges, want their tires, whatever the case may be. That would be something we could probably put in the compost area drop off point. And the company would provide us a dumpster for that. And again, pay the township for the recycling of that type of materials. Mercantile bank account has been open through a debt fund, and it's just a funny note on that. So the first week we made as much interest on that account as we did for a whole month with Huntington Bank.
1 week. So that's, I think that's gonna be, real beneficial for us. And then I did wanna, I was reviewing the cemetery rates and whatnot, and talked to other townships, and we're pretty much right in line with their charging, so it was just something I was wanting to look at. Looking at the possibility, which I've already talked to a couple of our employees on, they would really like to see this township open till 4 o'clock without increasing the hours of any workers, so basically it's gonna come on to us, we can rotate kind of schedules, hours during the day, some people start 11 till 4. Well, with no cost increase, but I think that the township will be open until 4 o'clock, and once I get it all worked out, I'll bring it up to the board and can vote on that then. Compost pile, I know you guys saw the two. We've leveled off, so now we've got room to go into next year. We've got plenty of room for next year without having to have any removed, so our compost guys did a good job then. And then just prepare for our fiscal 2024 audit at the end of this month. That's it. Um, just have to vote on it, but before we go that far, I want to get people's input on it. Do they want it? For me, $10 a year, I think it's a great deal, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure we can put it on either one. I just thought it would be easier to combine it with the trash.
Any other questions for the treasurer? Yes, if you could come up and use the mic, that would be very helpful. How you doing, Janet?
Right here, Lyon Township. What is the cost of the recycle bins that are already there?
The cost of those are rolled into our overall, it's not really defined into the overall price per month that they charge us. You can imagine it's probably not much. But that's not what's concerning, is what's kind of concerning is every Monday when we come in, they're full. People just dump stuff all around them. And it's nothing but a mess, really, every week in and week out. And we don't know who's dumping there either. Could be Denton Township, Gamers Township, who knows? Because it's not, you can't, we got cameras, but I don't know if they're residents of Lyon Township or not, so I just think for this minimal cost would be a great thing to get rid of those bins in general.
Okay, would we be able to have 2 recycle bins versus 1? Okay, just West it.
Yeah, I can ask them for sure.
Okay.
This wouldn't be a problem though.
It'll be the same size as
The green,
I don't know if that one would do me.
I'm gonna suggest that I will put this on the work session agenda. And that's where we're gonna hash out some of those details,
Okay,
because it's gonna take a lot of talking, obviously.
okay. Thank you.
You sure can, but it'd be great if you came up to the mic.
Barbara Knapp, I'm a resident here. The recycle issue, if you don't want to, you don't get charged the $10 and you don't need to have that extra trash can at your home.
Again, this looks like it's gonna take a lot of more talk and thought.
there's still questions we need to ask, but, like you're saying, you don't, so you don't want, you're not looking for one.
Right.
It'll end up coming down to a board vote after a lot of public input and talk.
Okay.
That's a good question, though. I will find out.
Thank you. Any other questions for the treasurer? Okay, we're gonna move on to the clerk's report.
Well, I know Kevin said he was gonna go first, but boy, was that a lie. He just, but I will There's a lot of items on this thing. I don't have a few, but I got some statements to make. Um, this goes up to yesterday. As usual, the busiest office in the building, mostly because of Courtney. She handles lots of different things. Due to the nature of our office being the busiest, we have to set some limits. Limited hours available for help and by appointment only on our busiest days, Mondays and Tuesdays. If the door is open and a knock, that's all that's required for the rest of the week. Other than that, things are all in order and they're taken care of in a timely manner. We receive a number of calls daily from residents. It seems that the clerk's office is a clearinghouse for many areas, permits of all sorts, compost questions, meeting date questions on building inspections, assessor, taxes, to name a few. We make sure they get to the right people and are answered promptly. We're batting 1,000 in that area. Our staff answers almost immediately and they're very good at what they do. We are up to date on all payables that were due. All notices that are supplied to us are posted as soon as they get approved. Large bulletin board outside and the website are as up to date as we can make them. All quarterly taxes have been filed, state, federal, and unemployment. We're currently working on the workman's comp audit. We encourage you to keep those happy phone calls that say thank you coming in. It keeps our spirits up and we're here to help. Questions, please.
Okay, it looks like we're good. Next report is ordinance officer. I am still acting ordinance officer. Many issues and complaints about mini bikes, dirt bikes, running around the neighborhoods and on the paved roads. I frequently keep an eye out and have stopped to talk to two different groups of young men on small motor vehicles. Proud to say that our Lyon youth were polite and well spoken. Roscommon County Sheriff's Department has been doing some extra patrols. At least in my neighborhood, it's slowed down considerable. Roscommon County Road Commission will not allow temporary speed bumps or children at play signs. Further questions need to be sent to the Roscommon County Road Commission, the Roscommon County Sheriff's Department. One road end issue turned out to be private property. One about a new dock upset some of the status quo, but it was legal. People complain about smoke from fires, but I have not yet seen anyone burning other than wood in an approved structure to burn in. Richard Brayley will start in September as primarily a record sorter and keeper, but he will be by title the new ordinance officer. Again, we cannot and never will be 24/7. If anybody has serious trespassing issue or feel threatened, you need to call the Roscommon County Sheriff's Department. Any questions to me on the ordinance office?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
For the ordinance officer, if there's a complaint tonight, he's going to follow up, correct?
The ordinance officer, I get complaints, and if they are signed, we actually have the choice as to whether we act on it or not, which is something we need to talk about after we bring Richard in.
So that would be his decision to act on it.
We as a Lyon Township board needs to decide how we would like to operate in relation to ordinances. Tell him and then him, so to this company. And then if we don't like what he's doing, we replace. And I understand it so far.
I mean, if somebody files a complaint, it's up to him to follow up. It's not up to him to say, they come to us and say, can I follow up on this?
No, we will meet, come up with a set of guidelines, give them to him. And it is his job, and technically, we're not supposed to interfere. If we do not like how he's doing his job, we can do something.
Yeah, he just want to make sure that he's gonna be allowed to follow up on any and all complaints that come in. That's all.
Yes,
Okay.
okay. But I asked that already. Sorry, maybe I didn't. Get right on.
Sam
Please,
Ryan,
yeah, keep it to a
Sam
question.
Bedoyan Junior, Lyon Township.
Keep it to a question
Guys.
so that we can move.
I don't need anybody else to try and tell me how to think.
Okay, this is for questions.
I know that. The question is, If the ordinance officer sees a violation when he's out on his duties, what is he?
We have a lengthy explanation from our attorney. And I don't want to get into it in great detail, but I'm going to tell you that the ordinances that we have in this township, it is up to us to decide at what level we want to enforce. I can tell you this much, we could do absolutely nothing about it. We could go after everything. He explained to me how the court system is well aware of all of this. Everybody's different. And that is what we will have to decide when we bring Richard in. Me personally, when I drive around, I see, and as he explained, there's blight everywhere. There's all kinds of things out there. If you run into a problem with partiality and abuse, we will decide in the future. Do I go out on patrol? No. Do I go out and look when I get a notice of a complaint? Yes. But I do not drive around and charge this township anything to look for problems. So I answer the complaints.
Well, I'll give you an example so you can think about it further. If the ordinance officer's out on a complaint, a written complaint, and he happens to pass by somebody burning leaves and drives right by and doesn't do anything. And let's say there's a fire. And then someone said they saw the ordinance officer drive by. Now you've got a can of worms.
Maybe. I've driven by fires, checked. They were fires in containers. One time, somebody came to my house, said there's a guy burning leaves. I went over there, I talked to him and it stopped. I do not remember driving by anybody burning leaves.
I'm just giving you that as a scenario because that could happen.
I'm trying to answer your questions as fast as I can and keep moving. Anybody else got questions for me? Please use the mic.
Like, West County, road commission, do we have a contact? Or you said there were no signs that they can put up, no turn of plate.
Yes, it's Dave Thompson is our immediate liaison. Roger Saxton kind of runs it at a higher level. You can call the office and leave a message for each one or even get their,
Oh, great.
Yes,
Dave
sir.
Thompson and Roger Saxon.
Thompson and Roger Saxton. Dave is always working on roads. Roger is usually in the office and he amazingly enough, he picks his phone.
You get their numbers and.
But you don't have them out.
You have some later. Not gonna be good. Thank you.
Any other questions for the ordinance officer? Going once, going twice, we're done with that. Okay, next on here is to approve the consent agenda. Our consent agenda today for this meeting is the invoice register, the check register, and the board report, which are all over on that table if the public wants it. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make them.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? End the discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, oppose the same. Motion carries. Okay, we'll start into the agenda with the first thing being the resolution, which I believe is titled 2025-013. Clerk Kern, if you have a copy of that. I don't want to read the whole thing, but it has to do with Lyon Township is approving the use of Mercantile Bank as a depository for sewer debt retirement fund. Lyon Township beginning August 2025. And if I remember right, we already passed this. This is just a formality to approve it as a resolution. Okay, so I will make a motion that we adopt the resolution 2025-013 as stated. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Hobbs. Is there any discussion? And the discussion, it's money. We will need a roll call, please, Clerk Kern.
Okay. But since we already approved it, I don't know.
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed the same. Okay, the motion carries. Okay, so first thing on the regular agenda is all of you board members have a copy of this in front of you. Approve the contract renewal with ASI. You have a contract. I was getting a lot of conflicting information about that. I called them yesterday. My deputy and I talked with them. There is a prepay. There, the bottom line is we get that tractor and we have to pay the second we receive it, we will pay them for 150 hours of use. And this is pretty much a standard practice. So going back to the last tractor, and this is what I brought up to the board before. We had 150 hours that we had already paid for. We ran that thing 32 hours. I said, I'll go down to the compost site and run it. I used to run heavy equipment and see what it will do for the leaves. The board did not support that. There was not even a motion approved. So now we're right back in the same ballpark where this tractor is here. It's supposed to be swapped out in September. We're going to lose over $3,000. We talked to her and we worked out a deal with her. They will probably not have the new one ready for a while, and they can kind of drag their feet on a little bit, pushing into January. So we can keep the one we have, and that gives me, because our maintenance people are doing other things, and it gives me the opportunity to try and burn up a bunch of those hours we already paid. It will do. I'm gonna make a motion. The first that we approve the contract renewal with ASI. We got a pretty good deal out of them, and that's the way it is. And it's written in front of you. We prepay the 150 hours. It's good for 10 months. And they will give us an extension. I will make the motion that we approve that contract from Ellen's Equipment. Do we have a second?
Second,
Okay. Any discussion on it?
we'll just say this, when you say burn up the hours, what does that mean?
That means we've already paid for almost 110 hours that we will never use unless we do something. They're going to give us the time to use it. It actually suits their needs, the way they do business, that we get very, very close to 150 hours before they take it. We paid for this. If we give it back to them and don't do anything, we lose the money.
I get that, but you said, well, we gotta burn 100 hours, and so what does that mean? Like, you just.
Now, the second motion applies to how I'm going to suggest we do that.
I mean, I don't know, just for the heck of it, to run it or waste fuel to get the hours, that's all. I mean, if we don't use it 150 hours, we don't use it 150 hours, that's.
And then we lose the money, but okay,
You don't lose any money, you're only paying for it.
we get nothing for what we pay.
That's, I mean, amazing.
But for the motion as it is, and I'm strapped like crazy. The next motion is the next to this. But as the motion as stated to approve the contract. We have a motion, we have a second, we are in discussion on that. Is there any more discussion from the board? Okay, we'll end the discussion. As stated, to approve the contract for the next lease term with ASI. Could we have a roll call, please? Clerk Byrne?
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes.
Treasurer Hop.
Yes.
Trustee Detmer.
Yes.
Clerk Byrne. Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. 1A, which was an addition. Again, we're not supposed to have a discussion prior to. I will make a motion that the board support my running the tractor and the compost site for at least 15 hours to see what it is capable of as far as rotating leaves and to help defray the prepaid money for approximately 100 hours at $3,000 by December. They're going to give us some time as stated. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second. That sounds pretty good.
Okay. Any discussion from the board? I will add. I'd like to run it for 15 hours and see what it's capable of doing. Run a lot of heavy equipment. If that bucket will move those leaves, then we are going to not only save the money by using it, but then we will not have to pay the county potentially $4,000 in a year to rotate that stuff for us. I want to find out, want to know what it'll do. I know you find out what it'll do.
So it sounds like we have nothing to lose. Were you trying,
Not really, I'm not gonna charge the township anything, I'm just,
worried about liabilities too, you know?
I can check on liabilities. Any other discussion from the board? Okay, we'll end the discussion. As stated, could we have a roll call, please? Because there is money involved in this on the back end.
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes,
Treasurer Howe,
We already have a guy up there that can run it.
Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Clerk Kearney. Yes.
the motion carries 3-1. Next on the agenda is item 2. Again, we have no action prior to these. I will make a motion to approve no more than $125 for water quality results by Raven Analytical out of Ross Common at the South Higgins Lake State Park on 2 different dates. One on Labor Day weekend and one on following weekend. 2 samples each time, $25 per sample. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so we're into discussion. This has got to do with trying to check, the determination if there's 1,000 people in front of the South State Park peeing in the lake, is it gonna change the nitrate level? So we can figure that out for about $125. Any other discussion from the board?
So why are we doing it on the south side and not the north side?
Because it's by far the bigger clouds in a more constricted area.
I mean, that's not even our township though. Why wouldn't we do it in?
This is related to sewer discussions. All, again, do we need a sewer? Do we not? All of that comes down to, nobody's taking it into account if that's a major contributor for nitrates.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why would test the north side and the south side?
We can add that. I don't know that the results would happen in the north. We can add it, and that would change the cost to $250 if you'd like. Well, first,
But we test the water in our own township before we,
okay,
get somewhere else. That's all.
any other comments from the board?
Discussion, that's all.
Hearing none. As stated at 125, let's have a roll call on that. If it fails, change it to include others.
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes,
Treasurer Howe,
No,
Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Clerk Kearney. No.
okay, the motion fails. I'll make a motion to approve no more than $250 for water quality results from Raven Analytical at South and North Higgins Lake State Park. 2 different dates, on Labor Day weekend and the following weekend at $25 per sample. Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion from the board? We'll end the discussion. As stated, could we have a roll call vote on that, please, Clerk Kern?
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
Treasurer Howe,
yes.
Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Clerk Kearney. Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. I will make a motion to seek, your number 3 is, I will make a motion to seek 3 proposals and from the Shoemaker Group to redesign our webpage from least to most, not to exceed $2,500. There's no price set yet on the proposal, if any. Again, I'll need a second to discuss why. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll give you a second, so
Okay.
we can discuss it.
So for the point of discussion, I do not know if they will charge us for this yet. I'm just throwing in the inclusion to get a roll call in place in case there's like $100 charge or something to come in and figure out to give us this proposal package. We need to revamp that webpage. They will give us 3. They will give us, I think from 1,000 to 5,000, 3 different proposals of what they could do. Like from cheapest to most, I said, keep it under 25, give us 3. They just don't know if he's gonna charge us for that. So the motion just kind of wraps around the fact that if we get a fee for that, it's included in this motion.
So it's a small fee, but they're gonna give us 3 proposals.
Right.
Okay, I don't have an issue.
Any other discussion? Could be a small fee.
Hmm.
didn't get a straight answer.
I just got a problem with the $2,500 and we don't know. For proposals.
No, that's definitely not what I'm interested in, not $20.
It's gonna success.
No, he will give us three that will be like tiers, getting what's not to exceed 2,500. So one might be 1,200, one might be 1,800. One might be
2,500 has to do with the proposals, not that bid.
But I'm asking them to give not to exceed 2,500 on a three proposal package.
Okay,
So they would be different prices.
I understand.
And then we decide, if any of that is what we wanted.
We're not paying 2,500 to get the proposal.
Well, we can argue. No, we're not paying 25 to get that.
I want to make that point.
That's what I wanted to.
Okay, any other discussion from the board? Okay, I would ask for a roll call only because I'm not sure that this might not have a fee to do it. So could we have a roll call, please, Clerk Kern?
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
Treasurer Hunt,
No,
Trustee Dittmer,
I'd just like a determined amount, so I'm not gonna vote for it point blank, so no.
Clerk Kern, yes, that's a 2 and 2.
Okay, so it does not pass. All that really is saying that we do not approve the fee that they charge. I'm sure we'll still get it. We can get the estimates and then we'll see if he charges us for estimates. Number 4, where did Court go? Is there something we need to know? Okay. Number 4, motion to approve Chris Belts from the CAB Benefits Group, who has done some work around Michigan, also in Richfield Township, to come to the township, set a date, and discuss possible health insurance benefits options at his cost, if any. Again, need a second to talk.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Let me back that up. I didn't state it correctly. I will make the motion to approve Chris Belts from CAB Benefits Group to come to the township, set a date, and and discuss possible health insurance benefit options at his cost, if any. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion from the board. This has got to do with trying to figure out a health insurance package. He knows a lot about it, and instead of prior, Jeanette and I worked with Sal in a different company who lost me when he got vague about qualifying. So this is a new company. If he comes in here, you can talk to all 5 of us if we are interested at one time, instead of trying to disseminate information, one discussion to another one. Any other board discussion on it?
Yeah, I have an issue because we have a window of opportunity only for the month of September to get rid of the people that are employed with Blue Cross right now. If we don't get out in September, we're stuck with them for a while. And we're already at the end of August. Like I said, I had preferred some kind of a stipend rather than have the insurance at all, or give the board members a choice. What they want to do, they can remain with Blue Cross or the other, so that's just my feeling on talking to somebody else.
If we have the deadline, we have to meet this. I mean, this proposal is to bring somebody else to talk. If we have to meet that deadline and make a decision before then, we will have to do that. God knows it'd be a special meeting. We'll see how that goes, but this is just to bring somebody else in to give it, fresh voice, fresh perspective. Any other discussion from the board? Okay, we'll end the discussion. As needed, a roll call, please. I'm not sure if there's a cost. It wouldn't be much, but we'll see.
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
Treasurer Hill,
Yes.
Trustee Detmer,
Yes,
Clerk Kern, no.
Okay, the motion carries 3-1. I will note that we need to make a decision by September 1st, right? On the exist,
It's not much time, yeah.
right? Okay. Agenda item 5 is a motion to hire Richard Braylon as the ordinance officer with a starting pay of $17.15 an hour for up to 20 hours per week and as needed. Do we have a second so we can have a discussion?
A second.
Okay, board discussion. Richard has an extensive background in computer and tracking stuff, and he is primarily going to be brought into the township to do that. For ordinance violations in the past, there are 3 different places right now. He will be integral in working on the septic ordinance and the short-term rental, organizing that and being able to stay on top of it. And he has the skill set to do it. We offered him this job before, and he had a health issue that is now settled. So we're ready to go on this. Any other discussion from the board? And the discussion, as stated, a roll call, please, Clerk Fern.
Trustee trustee Decker.
Aye.
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
treasurer Hub,
Yes.
clerk Kern, yes.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. I'll make a motion to hire Lori Engels as our contracted Facebook page administrator at a rate of $25 per week. Do we have a second so we can get to a discussion?
A second.
Okay, we have a discussion. Lori has been spending a lot of personal time. We have a Facebook page that is proving itself to actually reach out to more people than our webpage by far. For example, I think the last concert had 80 some hits. Our last meeting had 400 some hits. So it is designed to not have comments, just be pumping out information similar to what Garish is using for their fire and EMS. She's doing a great job. She's here every day. She pulls stuff off the webpage and then she creates some more things herself.
I don't think they know she's the head librarian.
I'm sorry, she is the librarian in the Lime Branch Library. Any other discussion from the board? Okay, we'll end the discussion as stated. Roll call, please, Clerk Kern.
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
treasurer Hub,
Yes.
trustee Detmer,
Yes.
clerk Kern, yes.
Okay, the motion carries. I'll make a motion for number 7 is I'll make a motion to approve the excuse me for just a moment. Can you do that? Do that. And if I'm short.
I don't need them.
No, I'll make a motion to approve the stripping, leveling and replacement material at part 27, baseball diamond, for the cost of $5,300. This is, this bid's from sergeants. Can we have a second to discuss?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion. We, originally the Parks and Rec had some volunteers willing to bring in diamond dust at a cheap price and others to spread it. In going and looking for other bids, Roscommon Township had 2 fields they did for $10,500. I tried to get a hold of that. That was Saxton Heavy Equipment. That guy just won't call me back. Ended up getting a hold of Nick Sargent and he will do it and has done many for $5,300, which is right in the ballpark of what we were going to have to pay it. Any other board discussion?
Yeah, well, the one thing, we had a cheaper price from that stone place, but then they wanted to add on $1,000 for delivery.
Right, that and they were not talking about the strip and everything.
They were not, so I think this was a great price from Sergeant.
Any other discussion? Okay, we'll end the discussion. As stated, a roll call, please, Clerk Kern.
Treasurer Bertrand,
Yes.
that treasurer Bertrand, excuse me, okay, well, you got.
Treasurer,
I'll get more money. Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
trustee Detmer,
Yes.
clerk Kern, yes.
Okay, motion carries. Shut that off, or it's gonna go blaring away. Uh. For the folks there, there's a paper on there about Cancer Sucks tournament, which is coming up. Nick has agreed to have this done by the 13th. That'll give us time to do any other work we need to do for the Cancer Sucks tournament. Great fundraiser for a great cause, and it's local. Anybody wants to donate, the paper is over there. So if he's done by the 13th, we'll be able to prep it for the tournament on the 20th and the 21st. And if any of you like baseball, these are top softball teams, men's softball from all around the state. There will be 9 games on Saturday and at least 6 on Sunday. We have a short field, means a lot of homers, fun games to watch. Okay. I'll make that motion, or not, make a motion to approve the, excuse me, I'll make a motion to approve the cutting of all the dangerous limb, not oak wilt trees from all our parks for a cost of $4,000. Have that bid. I think I already gave you guys one. Can we have a second so we can discuss?
Well, second.
Okay, we have a discussion. Long, roundabout story. Bottom line is all we want to do is take out dangerous limbs in the parks, hanging over equipment or people. That's it. We're gonna deal with the oak wilt in a different manner, and if we're gonna cut them, we're gonna cut it later in the fall, early winter. Any other discussion from the board?
The only other discussion I'd have him, we look at Phoenix Park. Because he did mention 2 trees, and I think there's a few more than 2 with the dangerous limbs, but have him look, the price is fine.
Well, also he can do it Tuesday, which is different. The last guy I talked to said, I can get there by October, maybe. Okay, any other discussion from the board? Okay, as stated, do we have a roll call, please, Clerk Byrne?
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
Treasurer Huff,
Yes.
Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Clerk Byrne, yes.
Okay, motion carries. I will spin the wheel to make sure we're gonna try and shoot for Tuesday, to close Samoset Park for Tuesday and get this done. Okay, number 9. Do we have a motion to adopt the amendment to ordinance 35, which was chickens in the R1 residential area? It would go from here to the county commissioners, same as it was before, going to the PC. The PC did not make changes. Their recommendation was to not do it. There are copies on the table over there.
I make the motion.
Okay, we have the motion. I'll second it. So we're open to discussions right now. The only thing I can say is the process is the board decided 4-1, they wanted this. It went to the planning commission for possible changes or suggestions. And the only one that came out after several meetings, and it's certainly their right, was we don't want you to do this. So from here, we approve it and it will go to the county commissioners. Any other discussion? Okay, we will end the discussion as stated, like a roll call. Just to see where everybody's at.
Okay. Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes,
Treasurer Huff,
Yes.
Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Clerk Byrne, yes.
okay, the motion carries. Number 10, I'll make a motion to follow the attorney's advice concerning the Higgins Lake Utility Authority. I'm gonna read something real quick. The board already has this. From our attorney, which is important for you to know. There's a problem between Higgins Lake Utility Authority, the Camp Cornelia Board, Beaver Creek Board, and Lyon Township is involved in this because we are part of the utility board for the sewer. We had said, I had said, and we agreed that we would try and get people together, the parties in this. And that we could meet here and maybe work out some of the issues. A lot of it had to do with billing. Since then, I found out that there is mediation between, I believe, Camp Cornelia Board and the Higgins Lake Utility Authority. I asked the attorney, if we have people in this building talking, because the Beaver Creek supervisor let me know about the mediation, what happens? Because there's some things you can't talk about when you're in mediation. So this is his answer. I would certainly like to know why they're in mediation and what's going on. If we appoint 2 people to this board, we should be getting updates from one or both of them on all issues with. We are not. We would expect some kind of written or in-person report from our appointed people. Every so often, just letting us know the details. However, I do think that it may be correct that there's a limit to what they can say while actively in mediation. They could still tell us the general issue and what each side's position is that led to mediation, but not much beyond that since they have to protect their own interests. I don't see why a special meeting couldn't be posted. There is no obligation on the others to show up. And if they do, they might not be able to provide very satisfactory answers to the crowd. I'm going to suggest we follow his advice, and there's 2 things that I would do. First would be to contact our Lyon Township representatives on the Higgins Lake Utility Board and have them come and meet with just us, this Lyon Township Board, and to discuss and have us fill us in on what's going on. And from the attorney, because that would be 3 people. Brian Cook is the 50-50. The other people's names are Tamla Gage, who was appointed, has not been reappointed, and the other person is Marcy Wilson. One of them's term has expired, the other one hasn't. To bring them in, and we need to talk to them, and because it's 3 of them, that's a quorum. So it has to be a public meeting. I'm gonna make a motion that we follow the attorney's advice in regards to having that meeting with Lyon Township reps from the Higgins Lake Utility Authority.
Why can't we just have them come in and talk to?
Second,
We don't have a month for that.
Discussion.
No, we're not.
we're in discussion yet. Gotta have
Oh.
see if we get there.
Well, go ahead, turn, I'll second it. Go ahead, discuss.
Okay, now,
Well, as far as that one, lady on the board who's expired. I brought this up at our work session that I would volunteer to take a position on that board. So at least the township has some representation, because apparently we don't, even though these 2 people were appointed. Don't even know who they are, haven't met them, so. I just think let's just go and go the next step, instead of meeting with them, let's just appoint somebody else.
okay, I am 100% opposed to trying to talk to these people without having the whole board present. That's my input on it. That's his advice too.
I'd like to talk to the 2 people myself.
Well, it's 3.
No, I'm not talking about Cook.
We don't need to talk to him, we need to talk to the 2 that.
The 2 reps that we have, not 50-50.
I'm 100% opposed, and you know the reason why. We talk about this all the time. 2 people talk to them, they try and tell other people what happened, and it gets completely jacked. We're trying to do the township residents' business in front of the township residents.
Good.
So that's my position now, and the attorney is suggesting that's how we do. Any other discussion on it?
Well, before you make a motion, I would get with these people to make sure they want to meet.
They have no choice, they work for us.
What do you mean they have no choice? They can just say,
They are
oh,
appointed. They are appointed. They are appointed by our board, not of us previous boards, to represent Lyon Township within the Higgins Lake Utility Authority. If they refuse to meet with us, I would suspect that would be grounds for dismissal in the list of things that you can be removed. Really, if you're not going to participate in meetings, that can't go on for very long.
Well, let's get on with this motion then.
Okay, so a motion to have the Lyon Township Board meet with the Lyon Township Higgins Lake Utility Authority representatives. And that would certainly have to be a public meeting. I'd like a roll call on this too, because I want to know where everybody stands.
Sure. Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes,
Treasurer Hunnell.
If it's a special meeting, no. If it's during a board meeting, yes.
well, we already did something that we don't talk in board meetings. It would have, if you're saying bring them into a work session,
Yes.
either way, your vote is no.
If it's a special meeting, yes, it's no.
Okay,
Okay, trustee Deckmer.
yes. Clerk Byrne, no. Okay, that's 2-2. We will have to have different methods to do it. The,
You've got enough time for one more thing. We're already past the 1 hour.
well, according to the way you guys voted, we're done.
Okay, good.
So that means we will not get to the rest of the agenda per how the board decided to do these things.
It's certainly needed.
Well, again, we do the township business, one of
Last Wednesday.
I get you guys want it, this is how we're gonna do it. So, moving from there. We had an opportunity for board comments within your. Reports, but I would open it up if the board had any other comments for right now before moving into. Public comment, actually a couple of announcements.
Yeah, those announcements. Have any more comments?
So then we have more comments. Nope. Okay, hearing none. 4 announcements. Cancer Sucks tournament, papers over there. For us, please let us think about which businesses we may go to spread this information around. As board members and also for the township employees. There's a public hearing to review the assessment roll on the Lake Dam at 6 p.m. September 2nd at the high school. At our last meeting, we've already got hit up where we're over, the township's got to pay over $20,000. The Consumer Powers grant submittal. Leanne already talked about that. An overview of the teams meeting plan going forward is that Andrew will be running the teams meeting from there. When we do meetings where we invite people to be on the TV, he will be able to bring them in and out and mute them. He will take care of the recording, ending up being set up to go to our webpage and get it on the webpage. And if he cannot be here, Pam Scott is the backup. She knows how to do it too. So hopefully going forward, it will be even more accurate. Using these mics, I looked at a couple of them. They on the Teams meeting recordings. If you go to the webpage and look, you can hear everything really. It works well. Okay, public comments. Please come up, say who you are. What you're up to, what you think.
And I just have one. Well, actually. So Leanne talked about the sand at Samuelson, and she said that the kids were loving it and that they are talking to people with ADA. The sand needs to be removed. It is a violation of the American Disabilities Act. You cannot use sand on the bottom underneath any of the playground equipment. There are 2 things that you can use. It's engineered wood fiber, and that's not the stuff at the compost. Regular engineered wood fiber or the poured rubber flooring. So I guess my question is, and maybe this would go to Leanne, is I'd like to know how soon that this will be rectified so that that park is accessible to everybody. I know that I could not get Ed into that park in that sand right now in his wheelchair. Not a power chair, not somebody in a walker, not somebody in a cane to go through that park without getting stuck, without falling over. It is a violation of federal law. And so I guess I would like to know how soon that would be rectified.
I can speak to it briefly. We had several conversations with an expert. And the conclusion was you could use sand, but it's not a preferred thing. We twice tried to get him out here. He was willing to come out and look at everything. It turned into, you can use wood chips, you can use the other stuff, you can use rubberized stuff, but these are all, it's suggestions. That sand is not a good choice in some people's eyes. But it was obvious to me that after a while, the guy wants to tell me what he's pushing on. Okay, when we started talking about that, he's somewhat faded into the distance. Right now, it is I went there and looked, and you can get the wheelchair around in between the different sites. The explanation, I get it. I'm just trying to let you know where we're at. The explanation is sand is not a good choice, but it's okay.
It's not okay. It's not okay. I looked up the law. It's not okay to use sand.
You send me a complaint and make the complaint.
I will file the complaint.
To send it to me, maybe that will spur more interest in trying to take some action. We thought I told these guys, we got an expert coming out, we'll get an expert opinion. And
If an expert who's trying to sell you something,
well,
then in my opinion, it's not an expert who's going to be an expert looking at what's best for the people or the best for the handicapped people.
he was,
Get somebody from the federal government to come in to say what is acceptable and what is not, because it is their law.
okay, I got you. I got this.
Okay,
If you send me something on how to contact me,
I have-
I'll try and help.
do the law.
All right. Anybody else for public comments? Go ahead, John.
John Bartolini, Johnson. I just want to express some disappointment that, you guys have limited the amount of time to get the good business of the township done. I think that limiting it to an hour is probably not practical or realistic. And, it probably, requires perhaps in my mind, more thoughtful process, of how you guys approach it, maybe perhaps a more organized approach, but it seems like you have left a fair number of significant things that need to be addressed. Perhaps some things on it that didn't need to be, but it sure does look like there needs to be a little bit more organization than how that's done. That's all I have.
Thanks, sir. It would be my intent to call a special meeting, and if people don't show up, we don't have a meeting. Anybody else with public comment?
Martha Bartle, Lyon Township. So you answered one of my questions, and that is if all the items on the agenda go beyond 1 hour, how will these items be dealt with? I understand that then you'll call a special meeting to deal with those.
The original proposal that the board supported was to have everything done in work sessions and board meetings and to not exceed an hour, excluding public comment. I do not see that as realistic, but we are 5 people,
Okay.
I will call meetings, and if people don't show up, then we will try and jam it in as I'm trying to do today. Just jam.
Well, we also could address how the meeting ran, and all of them reading the reports when they're on the table, instead of taking up half an hour. If people have comments after they read the reports, we could do that at the same time as well.
I could certainly put a motion out there. I would be opposed to that. This is the one time a month they come in, hear what we're doing, can question us. Sure.
We can read them, they're out.
Our work session, I can certainly make that motion. No longer do that either.
Well, I think that something needs to be taken into consideration in that these meetings are more than just about blasting through the agenda. It is the time for residents to see the board in action and to be able to understand what the workings of the board are. And I feel like efficiency is really important. I agree with that. But not at the expense of rushing through agenda items and then not getting to them. Because I have a couple of concerns. It's my understanding that you need to approve it by hearing somebody before they actually start working. If I misunderstood on that, then I apologize. So there's still, I think, one agenda item for today's agenda that was the approval of, I can't remember the person's name, just start working. And I understand that that person has already started working, but it hasn't even been approved, and then we didn't get to it today. So now we're.
You're absolutely correct.
So I'm concerned with what happens with that too. And I remember back over a year ago that one of the chief complaints of some of the board members was the number of special meetings that this board has called. And I think that you guys might be taking a take on how many special meetings there are. Not really kind of 10 special meetings, including board members. And so I think that we need to kind of rethink that one. I am very much in favor of curbside recycling. Very much in favor. So if you need any tally sheet, be sure to put me down on that one. I think that that's a great idea. I think, Kevin, you're concerned about who is using our for our recycling is valid. I mean, I think anything that doesn't go in the landfill is probably better than controlling who's actually using that recycling, but I'm very much in favor of recycling. And I'm really concerned with the spending of $5,380 on the baseball field at this time of the year. And I understand you want to have it done for this benefit. But I would propose that we save that money and do it in the springtime when the field's going to be ready to be used. It's just, and I'm kind of concerned with where the money's coming from too.
I appreciate it. And trying to go fast, I left out that we have also been in contact with the softball teams in Houghton Lake, and we'll probably, they will play here, and we'll see if we can't generate a team out of the local businesses that we have here. So it's not a one-shot deal. This is planned to go forward into the spring, get involved in that league stuff, and have our township businesses advertise them and sign them. It's all about improving the whole park.
Thank you.
A little more in the same thing is we haven't a regular league here in more than 4 years. When I moved in here 16 years ago, they played softball 4 nights a week and the little kids played on the weekends. I would like that to come back. And in order for that to be done, the diamond needs to be restricted. That's the only reason we're trying to get this is we're getting a little more publicity through the papers and everything else from this softball tournament about cancer. I hope that helps some.
Any other board comments? Come on up. Did bring your better half today?
No, because she was busy. So she said, well, maybe I'm gonna, what's going on over there?
All right.
So, yeah, technically.
All right, you're plenty close. That's pretty loud. Yeah.
The one thing I'd like to comment as a resident,
State your name and where you live.
that's Springstead, Lyon Township. You gentlemen had a work session that went on for 4.5 hours. And I can understand the frustration from the board members, because that's a long time. My attitude is to the fact that you guys, cannot condense your work session to a more reasonable amount of time. You're basically penalizing your residents. Because we're here to find out what you guys are doing. And, thank the questions. Again, we didn't finish the agenda today. Important things on that agenda should be taken care of. We're taken care of. If you can penalize us and yourselves by having a 4.5 hour work session and not having enough self-control to figure out how to work together to get those things done, we're the ones that suffer.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? If you want to be last, Sam, there's somebody back there.
Matter.
Okay.
Sam Bedorian, Lyon Township.
I know you're usually prompt and efficient, but we're getting down to where we have to, there's a.
Lightning speed, if you allow.
Well, you're good. You're good.
I see you're still here, Paul, but I'm gonna say to you again, you still need to resign, and here's why. In Michigan Township, supervisors does not have veto powers. Supervisor serves as an officer of the township and moderates board and annual meetings. Has equal vote in proceedings of the board and does not possess authority to veto board actions. Michigan legislature specifies laws that don't grant veto power. Governing and making binding decisions rests with the township board as a whole, acting through votes and official board decisions. Consequences for a Michigan Township supervisor overstepping statutory duties in Michigan. A township supervisor exceeding their statutory duties can face various consequences, ranging from corrective action by the township board to potential removal from the office or even criminal charges. Some possible repercussions. Action by the township board to reprimand or censure the supervisor for violating the township ethical code of conduct or for exceeding their authority. Loss of seniority or committee assignments. The board may impose sanctions such as restricting budget or removing a supervisor from specific committees. While elected officials cannot be fired, like an employee, in some circumstances, actions that constitute a violation of the ethical code of conduct could lead to removal from appointed boards or committees by the township board. Township residents can initiate a recall, including supervisor for reasons stated in the petition that are factual and clear and based on the officer's conduct during their current term of office. Even the governor has the power to remove township officers when the governor is satisfied from the evidence submitted. Some examples could be official misconduct, willful neglect of duty, conviction of a felony, etc. Some potential legal actions. Lawsuits by the township, its residents, or other affected parties might initiate legal action against the supervisor for actions that are outside of their statutory authority and potentially cause harm or damage to the township or individuals. Like misuse of public funds or violating transparency. The Open Meetings Act results in criminal charges even and fines and even imprisonment. Overstepping boundaries can severely damage the supervisor's reputation, erode the trust of residents and other officials, and loss of public trust and credibility with the board, the staff, and community can make it difficult for the supervisor to lead and implement policies effectively. A township supervisor in mission is expected to adhere to the statutory duties and ethical guidelines, and failure to do so can result in various consequences. P.S. Township supervisors that wants to be a dictator or monarch has, in my opinion, violated the oath of office.
Thank you, Sam. Always well thought out. Any other public comments? Come on up, Jason.
Yeah, my name's Jason Clouds, and I'm a resident of this township. I have a suggestion in how you might be able to recoup some time in your duties. And you're a very busy man, and there's limited hours. My suggestion is quit wasting your time on new ordinances. Historically, since you've been in office, you don't enforce the ordinances that are on the now. Why would you create additional ordinances? Now, we know there's not going to be any follow-up litigation notices based on our historical occurrences for the last 10 months. You could save yourself a lot of time. Just stop spending hours and hours on new ordinances. We're going to arrest or send out notices, contact attorneys concerning chickens. We have this year significant ordinance violations placed before the board, and they're totally ignored. What? Chickens? Wait a minute. We had the septic ordinance in place. May not be perfect, I'm not saying it was perfect, but it was there. And now we're recreating the wheel, spending dozens and dozens and dozens of hours to have another one. Or, you know, 0.6, whatever it is. Same thing holds true for maybe um the vacation legal property discussions that are going on and have been going on. It's going to be the police officer that is going to go around listing people. We know it's not going to happen. Historically, it hasn't happened. Well, maybe the new ordinance officer supposedly is going to focus on technology. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense to me. The ordinance officer should be out in the community enforcing the existing ordinances, not in a cubicle, updating a database. That may be part of his role, but it shouldn't be his significant role. And that's the impression that I got today. Simple conclusion. I would appreciate it if all you gentlemen would spend more time enforcing the existing ordinances and doing the township's business than spending time creating things that we probably know will not be enforced in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Anybody else from the public got a comment they want to make today? Yeah. I'm so much. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta look way over there. Come right up and tell us who you are and what you'd like to say.
I'm Beulah Tellman, Lyon Township. I want to kind of piggyback on what Dee said. I came to the township office and I was treated very fairly. I want to thank everyone because I had an issue and I have an issue. And it is with short-term rentals. And I'm really encouraging you to guys get that ordinance in town and going. But I'm concerned from what I heard today that it's going to be up to you to decide what you want to enforce. I have dealt with a lot this summer. And I'm really kind of over it. Our cottage we've had since the 70s. It's a family cottage. It's a place of a lot of memories. And I feel like my kids' memories are being destroyed. We're up in an abandoned area behind the post office. We bought there. We were one of the first people to buy there. We were one of the first people to build there. And it was abandoned by the developer. So our roads are considered private roads. We deal with the tearing up of it with all the road people that think it's trails. It's really our roads. We have to fix them. We have to maintain them. And now we have the short-term rentals. I have nobody that helps me. The sheriff doesn't want to come up and enforce anything because it's abandoned roads. It's private roads. So they say that's a civil matter or something I don't even understand. My feeling is the township should be supporting us. I'm not saying whether or not they want to get rid of, I just want them not to have 8 cars at a house across from me. I don't want a cottage across me that I know has a septic system from the 60s, 70s. It was made for 4 people. I know it because we watched them all being built. We know the people that built them. We all put them in. They came in after us and they can have 10 people there. And they can have 8 cars and boats. And I have small grandchildren and I put up a sign, slow down. And they ran over the sign with their boat. So I have an issue. And I don't want somebody else telling me what's important to enforce or not. We need ordinances to protect our property and our lineage to our kids. I want my kids to come up here. We had to move to Texas for my husband's job. He's retiring, hopefully soon. But we're gonna spend summers over. But my whole life, my kids spent 25 Christmases up here. It's not like we have a year-round home. But I want that for my kids, and I want this board to support families up here, not just. I don't even know how to put this. I'm sorry, I was not prepared to talk. But it was sad when I felt like ordinances didn't matter. I mean, if you always want to have a But I think,
I'm saying this, this ordinance officer, when he comes down, he absolutely is going to enforce any ordinance that's been violated. It's what it means.
one thing we talked, I was at the planning commission, one thing it was is we need to know how to contact that person. Because I can't, I now have the name of the people. I found them, they're listing on, but when I sent a note saying, you've got 8 cars there. You've got multiple people there, more than 10. And they were unaware of it, even though they have cameras and they live in Arizona. So I need, the ordinance office needs a lot of information. He needs to know this. Okay.
And everybody here, when I say that we don't have to enforce ordinances, that means that the board can decide. For the short-term rental and the septic, there is no intention of this board to not enforce those things.
Okay.
So the short-term rental that was a draft that was already out there has all the stipulations that people have to do, all the kind. I'm not saying we're disregarding that. I'm saying we do have a choice, and as a board, I appreciate Mr. Hopp's statement, but this will be a board decision on what we want our ordinance officer to do.
Okay.
Force the ordinances.
I hear you, but I'm saying, but to alleviate your concern, the short-term rental and the ordinance we created, we have the stipulations and the stuff in there. So it's not like we created and then turn around and say, no,
Okay, it sounds like you're gonna pick and choose.
we did not. I'm in sorry for time, trying to express the fact that it is not as cut and dry as you would think. But for the big things like that, it's, I mean, we vote on it, we do it, it goes out there, and we would enforce.
Just need to allow us meeting. We're gonna do what we can to do something about that.
Mm, Not here to complain. I want to help solution.
That's my position.
Any other comments from somebody who has not spoken already? Okay, well, thank you all for coming. Great comments. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make the motion.
Okay, I'll second it. Any discussion? All right, hearing no discussion, all those in favor of adjourning the meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
11:33. Thank you much.